Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
While they issued a notice of action nearly 6 months ago, it appears the very commission that approved a controversial high-rise development in Pago Bay isn't too happy with its progress.
We were not satisfied at all. The commissioners were totally dissatisfied with the materials they presented and the changes that had occurred in the report they presented.
During a recent Guam Land Use Commission meeting, Guam Land Construction was supposed to present a progress report on the Pago Bay Marina Resort. The 6-month checkup was part of the conditions of the Notice of Action. Department of Land Management Director and GLUC Secretary Michael Borja says the company unfortunately did not comply with the required elements.
They made some changes to the layouts of the rooms, which we thought was completely contrary to the density requirement that had already been established. It basically looked like it doubled the size, or doubled the number of rooms that were originally expected. And then they spoke about the primary purpose of the facility as now being a hotel, when all along the conditions of approval were based on a residence, a condominium type residence.
But it was also a lack of documentation of the project's financial status.
It would have been good to show that they had a commitment from a bank or from a lending institution or from whatever investors that they were expecting to receive their financing from, to show that the financing was intact and still on track for use by this developer.
Borja says this scrutiny is typical of any project approved with conditions by the GLUC. He does, however, add this one in particular has received a lot of attention.
You do get the community that expresses their thoughts on the matter, and in this particular case, it was very strong community opposition on the project, and we have to also take that into account.
While one of the recommendations was revoking the application, Borja says the GLUC instead decided to issue a notice to show cause, giving Guam Wanfang 2 weeks to come back and address several issues. Revoking, however, is still a possibility.
This is like the strictest form of action we can take on an application. Basically, if you need to tell us what we want to know, because you failed to do that in the first place, and you've got this much time to do it, and if you fail to do it, then the option to revoke our approval can stand.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintanilla.
Brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.